Alright, so the first thing that I'm doing is I'm putting my horizon line across the center of the paper. Once I've established my horizon line, I'm going to go ahead and put down 2 vanishing points. After that, to mimic the picture that I have, I am going to start much closer to this other vanishing point, and then I'll notice that it's pretty level. About the same amount is below the vanishing point as is above the vanishing point. Every time I draw a vertical, I do always connect it back to both sides. This gets me the corner of my house. Ooh, that wasn't lined up. Once I get my corner, I need to visualize how much further over I need to go to get the other side of the house. Then this is the back side of the house. So I am not going to connect this to 2 vanishing points at this time. Then if I look back at my picture, I notice that the house is not a perfect square, it's a rectangle, so I'm going to keep this side much shorter. And again, I'm not going to connect it. Then to make my roof line, I want my roof line to be in the center of this box. So I want this centered, which means to find the center, I draw an X in the side. That finds me the visual center, which means I can now take this up, keeping my ruler straight, and draw a line up. Then I need to determine how far up do I feel that roof actually goes on the picture, and I would guesstimate it goes to about there. Then I need 2 diagonals. Diagonal lines do not follow any vanishing point rules, just so you can draw them wherever you want. Then the top of this roof would connect back, and anytime I get confused as to where a line goes, I can go back to my original picture and just put my ruler right on that line and see which vanishing point I need to connect to. Then the other side of my roof, these are parallel, so I can just copy by lining up my ruler here, pulling it across. Gets the back side of my house. Once I've drawn the back side of my house, I'm going to go ahead and do this addition, which is the garage. I know that this is a 2-story house based off of the picture, and I know that both stories would be equal in size, which means that this line here, the roof top is coming out from the center. So for me, that happens to be just the way that I drew it, right on the horizon line. So just for the purpose of making this more challenging than the horizon line, I'm going to do it slightly above. So I'm going to decide that that's where my roof line starts. But then I will notice that it is actually, this line back here is set back from the side of the house, and small little differences that you notice in the image are really important like that in order to make it realistic. So I'm actually going to pull this line slightly backwards and draw it up, and then from there go to where I think that bottom roof line would start. And again, if I get confused which vanishing point to connect to, I could use my original drawing. And then once I draw a vertical, I'm going to connect it to the top and the bottom. But look, it doesn't connect to there. In fact, as I look at this, I just screwed up. This line here connects to the other vanishing point. And you'll have stuff like that constantly. So if you just are always thinking like, does this look right? Does this make sense? It kind of helps you to find those mistakes. Even experienced artists, clearly, like just myself, will screw this up. The difference is that the experienced artist will generally catch themselves before it has the opportunity to do a bunch of damage. Another way to think of that, some artists like to call it the A-B side. And so they will actually label their drawing before they even start, A side, B side, B side, to help them keep track of whether they're going to the vanishing point on the right or the vanishing point on the left. Okay, then I need to decide how far over I need space for that garage. So this is where you just got to take a visual cue and think about, how much room do you actually need to fit in those 2 doors in that garage space. So I'm going to scooch this over. Okay, then I'm going to attach it back to this vanishing point, which is going to feel very awkward. However, if you look at my actual drawing, that does make sense. I can barely see the side of the garage. So logically, I'm doing a pretty good job duplicating my house. And again, technically, if I wanted to be exactly right, I would find the back side of where I felt that garage would go in order to get this line. But at this point, I feel that's a fair spot to guesstimate.